I just thought I'd do a last video for today and just talk a little bit about truth, knowledge. Knowledge, fabulous. Knowledge is a fabulous thing, but it's also very dangerous as well, and I'll explain why in a second. Knowledge that you learn through not just your own observation, but through factual evidence. And once you've got that information, then what do you do with that? Often I've said the best time to share truth is when people are ready for it. So a lot of the times where truth is shared on social media, the majority of people are not ready for it. They don't want to know. I'll give you so many examples. One just now, I've just posted an example of earpods. If you remember me talking about earpods years ago, I was trying to get a pair to smash them. And then I thought, what's the point? You know, I was going to actually do a video showing earpods, whatever they're called, and putting them on a big thick wooden board and getting a hammer and smashing them, saying that's the best thing for these things. And it's a dangerous thing. Not only is it dangerous to the makers, the manufacturers and the representatives of selling these products, because you're going to be hated by all of those people because you're taking their money away from them, and you're spreading bad information as they would see it, because hey, there's nothing wrong, these are fantastic, you don't have these long wires hanging, and these are brilliant, these are fantastic, you can run with them on and you can walk and talk to your clients. What you're talking about? So many years ago, I was listening to the Richie Allen radio show when I first started listening, and Barry Trower was one of his guests back then. And Barry started talking about this system, this radio wave, microwave system that nearly every single dark system is using. So that's, you know, the system of the army, and I'm not talking about the people who work there, the ambulance service, police service, fire brigade. And he was pointing out way back when that these headphones that they all wear, where they communicate to central base, that these microwaves are starting to reveal in many of the soldiers and the workers that many things are happening to them. I think he talked about tinnitus. He talked about, I think he mentioned SAWS, and then he talked about the real issue, which is brain tumours. And I thought, my God, this is so bad. And of course, all of you are like, now, what I'm thinking, if it's the first time you've heard this, why would they do that to their own people? Well, monsters don't really care about people. And if it's a long kill, which it is, takes time. It's like a microwave oven just going into the brain, and the brain is healing it all the time, but eventually it can't heal it. Eventually it will fry the brain and then produce a negative energy in there, which then produces, you know, all sorts of issues. And if you don't believe me, you just need to do a little, mind you, most people are lazy, they don't start looking at the stats on how many of these workers, these wonderful people who are just trying to, you know, help the world. Just look at their stats of how many people have brain tumours who work for the military industrial complex. So you'll see it's huge. So there is 100%, no doubt, no question, that these microwaves, these Bluetooths, all of that are extremely dangerous. Just like I pointed out, which I've not heard anybody point out yet, maybe one, I think the other day mentioned it, and that I said that all new cars are microwave ovens. All new cars, not just Tesla, all new cars, they're microwave ovens. You'll see, you'll soon see. Why? Because I work on energy, I work with energy. And if there's a disruption of energy in the body, if I think somebody is, if there's some issue with an ear, I'll explain why to my client and say, look, there's something going on in your left ear. And they'll, I remember clearly people saying to me, Jesus, I've always got my phone in my left ear or my right ear, and or you've got a problem down here, just this. Oh my God, I always leave my phone there. I said, right, your energy is really bad there. There's the frequency, the vibration is very bad. And then they'll say, oh yeah, I've got pains here. I'm like, yes, because you're microwaving yourself. I can imagine now people are going to say to me, says him who's talking to the phone. This is how stupid people are. So, and brutal now. Brutal. The energy, the whole energy, because of CERN, because of DARPA, because of 5G, all of that. We are now living in a toxic soup, guys, just to warn you. And that toxic soup is feeding the very monsters that I speak of, those monsters who are actively attacking people. I mean, when was the last time you attacked anybody? When was the last time you wanted to hurt somebody? Well, these monsters feed from that energy, so it gives them power, strength, encouragement to attack people. That's why good people, kind people, always get killed, but never bad people. You look at anybody who spreads the word of love. John Lennon shot. All of them. Just think about how many people got shot and killed. Gandhi and all of them. We just want peace. You see, we live amongst monsters, and there'll be monsters on here shortly who'll come on because they feed from causing pain and suffering, and they hunt anything which they see as a predator. And what is a predator? A predator to them is something that they despise, and they despise love and kindness and sharing. They don't care. They don't even listen to that. They just want to attack, to change a frequency to suit theirs and to feed them. So when you listen to people like Barry Trower, who basically left the military industrial complex because he realized it was nothing more than a shit show, and they were basically killing human beings like ants. They were killing pregnant mothers. They were using this microwave technology on pregnant mothers, on children, just to see how it worked. This is the monsters that I talk about that are in control. So you look at the now you've got your information. You know that these earphones, these wireless earphones, are extremely dangerous in the long term. Might not happen in a week or a month or a year, but eventually it will, and then you'll hear the cries. So I guarantee you now, they'll never go out of business. They'll never go out of business. Neither will new cars. There's too much money involved. They wouldn't stop that. Plus the fact, when you look at the bigger picture, it's all about culling and making people sick. That's big business. So they encourage it. That's why they stop people like Don Tolman from speaking. You mention anything. I mean, what was the last ridiculous thing that this dark system doesn't like? It doesn't like you to work on a natural level of health and well-being. So just the idea of putting out a story that the ancients talked about real honey, not talking about the poisons that you get in your supermarkets. That's not honey. That's all been tampered with. I'm talking about real honey. You don't use metal to scoop out your honey. You use wood, because using metal will kill the very nature of that honey. So you've got your farce checkers saying that that is wrong information. Anything that farce checkers say, they're a bunch of knobs, are utter monster knobs with no souls or consciousness. They're just walking, eating monsters who are just typing away absolute garbage. So that they're a great source of information, knowing when something is right. So every time they say something is wrong, you know it's right. So going back to the earphones, have I done my bit to try and help people? I have. I talked about this years ago, before they came out. And I talked about it when they came out, and I talked about it a year later, 2 years later. I don't know how long they've been out now, but I've talked about them. Do I tell people about them? I do tell mums. If I see a mum sat there, I will say the microwave ovens to the brain, to your child's brain. Did some listen? No. Were they angry? Very. Because they then looked at me as if I'm calling them a bad mother. So that didn't go down well. Even though I said it in a loving way, it didn't go down well. It went down like a ton of bricks. I've mentioned it to a few girls and boys who are teenagers as they're running, saying that you're better off with the wires like I've got, because it won't cause any issues to your ears or your brain. Fuff, I got, and then they just walked off. And the reason why that is because, one, they don't want to feel stupid, because the schooling system created that way. So nobody likes to feel stupid, because the fear of what they did to us, the abuse. So the ridicule that we feel we may get, because there's no such thing as wrong and right. The school system teaches you this. The dark system teaches you there's only right and wrong. There isn't. There's so many different forms of understandings, but they do it deliberately to make you fear them. So they say it's only right and wrong. No, it's not. Who says it's right? Who says it's wrong? But they do it to children to scare them into obeying and being slaves. So you're now speaking to children who have grown up, teenagers who are finished school and college, and God forbid you speak to somebody who's gone through the whole of university, because they are completely programmed. So there's no point even to, they look at you baffled. They look at you like there's nothing there anymore, because they've been completely lobotomized into the system thinking. So it's like, if somebody came past me and said, oh, you know them earphones you got on? I went, yeah. Apparently they're actually causing brain tumours. And if you study it, you'll see. I go, really? Absolutely. Just go online, Google it, and have a look. It's massive now. Fucking hell. Seriously? Cheers for that. Thanks a lot. Why? Because you are of consciousness of love. You are somebody who wants to learn and expand. You're not a monster who shuts everything out and is angry and just wants to shut up. This is the anger. This is how they work. They work in this cesspit of energy, and it's getting rife. The energy is increasing now to a different frequency of love and harmony. They are unbalancing this system by HARP, CERN, DARPA, all of these military-industrial complex weaponized systems that are 4G, 5G. I think 4G is just as bad, but 5G, 6G, 7G, 8G, they're talking about 10G. We're talking about Tesla. We're talking about Elon Musk. You actually believe that Skynet up there is doing nothing? It's all a combination of causing great harm and suffering in this world to unbalance everything, plants, everybody. Your clock cycles being messed up because of it. Your food cycles being messed up, and every cycle that is in your body that works like a balancer to everything you do, your sleep pattern, everything is being messed up. They are hijacking everything by creating bad energy, but that is because you work on good energy. To monsters, they will feast in this energy. They will thrive. And that's how portals, if you believe in them, these veils are widening, they're opening to allow these monsters in, which are already in humans, already. That's why they feed from somebody falling down. They laugh and they love it. They feed from somebody who loses anything that was valuable to them, that they put their heart and soul, they love it, they feed from it, they gossip and tell everybody because they're feeding from that energy. Whereas if somebody loses something valuable, you're feeling the sickness. You feel like you've lost it too, right? Okay, so this is where we have to identify, which nobody's doing, nobody ever has, because once you identify it, you then can understand what's going on and why people do what they do. Because they are not like you and I. They don't come from God's light or energy. They don't come from God's way of appearance of we all see the same. No, the appearance of eyes and legs and hands and a mouth and ears and eyes is simply a body. That's all it is. It's a vessel. It's a spacesuit. That's all it is. But what's never talked about is what's inside them and who resides in them spacesuits. So I tell you, the simple and truthful facts are very plain and simple to see that nobody talks about. Those that feed from pain, those that feed from suffering, those that create pain and suffering are the very monsters that I speak of, that come from a different part of the universe, that reside amongst us, that are at the highest levels of politics, military industrial complex, big pharma, all of the highest levels of CEOs, because they crave that energy. They step on people and hurt them. They cause pain and suffering to as many people as they can. Those that do that, I'm not saying everybody in those positions are. There are some good people, and you can tell the difference by way of how they treat others. So once you realize somebody's treating somebody with great contempt and anger and bitterness and jealous and wanting to attack them and wanting to hurt them, you just got to ask yourself, they're not like you and I. They're monsters. They don't know it. They're monsters. They feed from that. They don't even know that they're monsters. They just feed from it. So to them, they look at you as if, what the freaking hell are you talking about? I only pushed a button. Yeah, but you killed 10,000 people by bombing them. What do you mean? That's, I did great. It was a brilliant thing to do. And we're like, do we come from the same? You're not the same as me, pal. You're nothing like me. You're a monster. And I haven't found the correct word, guys. I haven't found the right words to say the difference between, because evil isn't good enough anymore. Satanic isn't good enough. Those words are not good enough anymore, because those words are used in the way that you think, okay, this is a religious thing. This is a spiritual thing. It is a spiritual thing, but it isn't a religious thing. And it isn't about evil per se. It's about entities that enter into this body, like you entered into this body, and they come from a place of utter dark energy, nasty, horrible cesspit energy. And that's why they're trying to create it on Earth, because where they come from is exactly that, what they're trying to create. And they know each other. Pedophiles are a typical example of these monsters that I talk about. I could go on all day, but this is exactly how I feel. And I am wishing you all a lovely day, and this is only food for thought. So think about it today. Think about these things. You can't help somebody who doesn't want helping. You can't change the mind of somebody who is completely programmed by a system that has brainwashed them into believing that everything that is put on a shelf is good for you, whereas me, everything that I see on a shelf in a supermarket, in these places, I know are not good for me and not healthy for me. Yes, I've got a phone. I understand that. But I also am very careful with that phone. I am also very careful with my phone. And I also am very careful with the amount of time I spend with them. I use so many different crystals to try and heal. I use so much health to try and cleanse my body. The last purchase I made was some beautiful charcoal. So I've got a huge bag of charcoal, and mix half a teaspoon in water, drink it down, and then the toxins of the poisons of the 5Gs of everything, it just soaks it up, and it comes out of your backside and clears away. There's spirulina. You can use so many things. You know, I love different crystals to work on in a night to cleanse and clear and so on. So we do our best. So to end this, there is a wonderful thing that I often say to myself, that knowledge that I receive from day to day is a blessing, and I shall use them for myself. And I shall shine that light to the world like a lighthouse, and those that need that light when they are drowning, they will see it and feel rescued by it. Those that don't need it, because they're not out at sea and there is no problem, they won't see the lighthouse anyway. They won't ever see it. It's okay. But those that do need it will see it at the right moment. So the older I get, the more I just don't really bother so much with people anymore unless they ask. And then I know that this person is ready to receive. I think that's a really good place to be. I think it's very balanced. So there you go. Good morning, one and all. Wishing you all a lovely day. If you've just got up. Hi.
Happy hours is ready, yeah?
Happy hour?
Yeah.
Oh, really? You have happy hour here?
Yeah. So if you don't mind,
Yeah.
because it's
I'm gonna
close,
go. I'm going now.
you can move here.
No, I'm going now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I have to go.
Oh,
But it's been beautiful spending the day here. How are you? Do you remember me from last time?
Of course, I remember you sitting there. Ah, I know that's Bapak.
Yeah.
How may I address you? Your name?
Mark.
Mark.
Yeah, Mark. Yeah.
Yeah. Enjoy, Mark. I know you love stay because I just because this is our
Yeah,
son,
music
too close
system.
for you.
And it starts now. Yeah. I understand.
If you like to stay here, maybe I suggest you to move here a bit.
It's so kind. Thank you so much. I
You're
have to
welcome,
go
Mark.
now, but it's been lovely today. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
you're welcome, Mark. Yeah?
Everybody here is beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
I
That's why
appreciate
you
it.
come back always.
Always,
Yeah, Mark,
always.
yeah?
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Mark.
Okay.
I prepare your bill now, Mark.
Yes, please.
Certainly.
Yes, please. Thank you so much. Well, they're having a happy hour, so there's going to be some music playing, and she just wants me to move slightly further back, but I'm going to get off now. I've done some great work today. I hope you're all okay. Yeah, it's beautiful here. If you ever get a chance to come here for a coffee, it's called Maya, Maya, and this is in Ubud, and there's a Maya in Zanoa, which is also beautiful by the sea. So this is deep in the forests, and Maya Ubud, Zanoa is right on the seafront. So it's beautiful, really beautiful. I've seen so much wildlife. It's fascinating. I've seen a lizard the size of my arm, about this big, and it just looked at me as if to say, "Yeah, what?" I'm like, "No, I've just not seen you before, and you're beautiful. You've got your beautiful skin color and this yellow, and wow, you look beautiful." And he looked at me really proud and absolutely not frightened at all. Just looked at each other. He looked at me, and then he went on his merry way. It's fascinating. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Mark.
And I'll pay by.
Oh,
Thank you so
yeah,
much.
all right.
That's for you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, it's probably best if you put it inside.
this, yeah?
Yeah, probably better inside. Yeah.
Okay. 356, yeah?
Thank you so much.
It's not the same amount already, yeah?
Yeah. Perfect. Thank you.
Okay. Would you like to pay by Indonesian or Euro?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter?
No. Whatever you want.
Your PIN number, please.
Okay.
It's okay?
I think so.
Yeah, processing. Approval. Okay.
Thank you so much.
This is your.
Thank you.
This is your.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome, Mr.
Thank you.
Mark.
Thank you so
and
much.
This is for tip, yeah?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Have
much.
a lovely afternoon.
Yeah,
We'll
you
see
too.
you, Sir Mark, yeah?
Yeah, probably
Next
tomorrow.
time. Maybe
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Yeah,
Alright.
thank you so
Thank
much.
You're welcome.
All right, guys. Well, nice to see you all having a chat. Yeah. Cheers, all. Thank you so much. I'll gonna get off now before it gets dark. Mino gusto. I don't like to drive in the dark on my motorbike. So I'm wishing you all a lovely day, evening, whatever you're doing. Thank you so much for joining me. As promised again, I try and give as much highlight to Bali as possible. Still a beautiful place, overbuilt. Rice fields are disappearing faster and faster. There is a lot of traffic on the roads, so if you're in a car, it's a struggle. If you're on a motorbike, you have to be very vigilant as well, but it's very respectful on the roads. People are respectful, no anger, no beeping, or the beeping is just so you're aware that they're there, which is a beautiful thing, rather than beeping in Spain where everybody gets angry with each other. They have to get somewhere fast so that they can do nothing for longer. So it's like here, I don't know, it's just so much more respectful. I enjoy being here. People are beautiful. So take care. Bye, everybody.